All right, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Derek P. Fields, and welcome to the Gridiron Blitz, where we talk all things Detroit Lions. I am waiting on my audio to come through YouTube. See how it sounds. See how my levels are. Okay, I'm hooked up to my cell phone, so I think that's good. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for rocking with me this Friday, the day after a holiday. But we got someone special on the podcast with us today. That is Mr. Willie Kennedy Jr., aka Detroit Legend Sportscast. What's going on, Willie?
What's going on, everybody?
Willie, well, let's see who we got. We only had two people in here before. Let's see, we got we got three. I think everybody is still on Micro Mike's stream. So shout out to Micro Mike. But I'm sure, and it's Friday night, but we're gonna do this thing anyway. Shout out to JGB rocking all the way from AZ with the 108-degree heat. That's crazy. Be sure to stay hydrated, JG. I know you know how it is. And whoever else comes in, we'll get on them later. So Willie, what's going on, man? We finally got you on to discuss some Lions and some feelings, man. So
I'm doing
what's
good
going
today.
on with you, bro? How you doing?
Everybody had a successful holiday yesterday. With the fireworks and all. Happy 4th, late 4th. But
yeah, man, we don't need nobody losing fingers and toes and hands and none of that stuff, man. Serious. It is indeed serious, man. Okay, I'm not private because I already got that. It's on YouTube. So we got people that's gonna come in late. Like I said, Micro Mike is probably still on. He got Luke G over there. So shout out to Micro Mike who is doing this thing over there. All right, Willie. Everybody knows Willie Kennedy Jr. from the Roundtable chats, always keeping it 100 in there, telling us how we feel. And between the four of us, sometimes could take over a chat. Don says, man, JGB, you move fast. You were just on Micro Mike. Hey, whenever Lions is in the title, man, JGB is always there. He's even on like Good Morning Football and anything, man. Wherever there's football, there's JGB. I've seen him on a Bottom Line View. I've seen him and a couple of the cats. We always meeting on different YouTube videos. So shout out to him. So this we got the Willie Kennedy Jr. rebranded as Detroit Legend Sportscast. He's going to start producing some content real soon, and we just wanted to actually hear his thoughts, not just read them in the chat about the way he feels about his Detroit Lions and things like that. So Willie, we're gonna get started, man. Tell us a little bit about your story as a Detroit Lions fan. Like, how did you become one, and how long has it been?
Right around about 24 years. So I became a Lions fan around 7 or 8. We used to go down to the Silverdome. My dad used to tailgate. So, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of was already in my blood before I knew about it. So it's like over the years, we all know the story of the Lions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not really more in depth you can get into. It's just I'm always labeled as a hater, and I want to hush that up because I'm not a hater. A hater is a person who is going to talk about someone who's doing good. And you're just going to find something bad about the good that he has done. That's what a hater does. When there's nothing good to talk about, you can't be labeled as a hater.
Okay.
So noise up with the hater, being a hater.
Oh, okay. So you think that even though most of the Lions fans think that, myself included, and you've seen my videos, so most of the Lions fans think that we've moved in a positive direction where we're not going to be 6-10, we're not going to be 4-12 or 0-16. You don't think that the way that you, and there's some other people out there, Buffed Up, aka Gregor, and it's JT, it's a couple other I call them realistic Lions fans, where they stay consistently realistic, like this is it, we're not going to do this, or we're going to go as far as this is our ceiling and things like that. You don't think the way that you feel can be kind of misconstrued as maybe being a little bit of a hater? You know what I'm saying? Or you just think you don't think that at all?
Even in this offseason, we made good moves, but we still did a lot of things the way the Lions do them. Like, it's just, we still went and picked up old washed up players like we do every year. We still overpaid for players who are really not superstars like that. We
Right.
did almost the same thing. Now, the only thing that was different this year was we did have a nice draft. Usually we have a terrible draft and pick up all the scrubs in the free agency. That's what we usually do. But this year, I actually like the cats we got out the draft. The only one I'm suspect about is the Tavai guy because he had an injury in college. It's a shoulder injury at that. If anybody ever played football, you know the shoulder is made up out of a lot of tiny bones, and it's hard to heal from shoulder injuries. So that was like, it's kind of like, still got me very, very, very optimistic. Like, man, it's the same to me until they go on the field and I see the Lions win consistently. And not stick their own foot in their mouth to lose their games, because the Lions stick their foot in their mouth. We all watch it. We be soaring through the game, and all of a sudden, downhill. You know what I'm saying? so.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I know what you mean. Yeah. I just made put that Jets video out there. And it's funny, I lost 2 subs by dropping that, man. Like, people, I get you. So with that being said, let's transition, man. I made a video last week when I went live, and I started talking about when was the breaking point for fans, and specifically Detroit Lions fans. And I believe that all fan bases have a breaking point. However, our fan base in our sport of the American Football League, the National Football League, we got a unique situation where the Detroit Lions are the only NFC team to never appear in the Super Bowl, which I didn't even know until like 2 weeks ago. They are the only one of 4 teams to never appear in the Super Bowl, and 2 of those teams are expansion teams, and the other team is the Browns. So if there's anybody that feels the pain of a Detroit Lions fan, it is the Browns. They are the closest fan base to just pure pain and things like that. So I made a video about the breaking point of fans, and I believe that it's okay for fans to break, especially with the Detroit Lions and stuff like that. So I wanted to ask you, you had said, hey, man, we need to go live because I want to talk about this. So what are your thoughts about the frustrated fan base? And you had told me some things about you being frustrated as well, and you having a breaking point as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
The type of fan that I am, and there's many like me that's out there, we look at it as our fan base looking at it, they just want to have the fun and games to say, oh, this and this and that, because we're really not used to winning. So they accept it. I don't accept it because it's like I was a season ticket holder for many years, and I felt like they was going up on the prices, but not putting a winning product on the field. So it's like every fan has a breaking point, because I know there's a lot of fans that look forward on a Sunday, like clear their whole schedule to get ready to watch the Lions. And by the second quarter, you didn't turn the TV off if you ain't broke it. You feel me? So it's like, yeah. So it's like, so that's
absolutely. That was me with the Jets game. Absolutely. Yeah.
Going home. So it's like I prepared my whole day. I took off work and everything. Prepared my whole day to
Monday Night Football. You took the day off work, and you go down to Ford Field, and second quarter, before even halftime, you was going back home.
I was going back home. And
wow.
I didn't go to
continue. Go ahead.
I didn't go to another game until I think it was the Minnesota game. It's the next game I went to, and I think I missed like 2 home games in between there, and they already was paid for.
Wait, the Hail Mary happened at Ford Field, right? I call it yeah. So okay, wow, okay, man. All right, go ahead, finish painting your picture, man.
So it's like when you that type of fan that you taking off work, you prepare your whole day. I wouldn't have spent $70 on a Lions jacket and bought me a Lions hat. You know what I'm saying? So you spend, and then the season tickets. Yeah,
and we know they're not cheap.
It's not cheap.
They're not cheap.
$60, $70 a pop. So you're doing all this, and you looking at it like, well, the main reason why we lost this game is because our quarterback just literally just threw the ball to the other team the whole entire game. You know what I'm saying? So you like,
okay,
I'm not sure.
What game are we talking about?
This is the Jets
what game we talk about?
Yeah, this is the Jets game. The game I left. I
just put that up there. Well, you know what? Let's stay off that for a minute. Let's stay on the fans and how you feeling.
Okay.
Because that's one of our topics as well is Matthew Stafford. So, you're saying that you invest your money into the product that the Lions put out, which is not only their team but their merchandise as well.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work around your day, and you should, like, you're excited about the games. We know downtown. I don't know if anybody has ever been downtown for parking for the Lions games, but they use alleys and back buildings and parking lots and things that Monday through Friday are just sitting there, and they decide to use that stuff on Lions on game days and charge an arm and a leg. So you got to do that as well. Depending on the weather, you got to walk to the stadium, and you might have to walk 3 or 4 blocks. So it's not easy being a fan, period. But the Detroit is a little tough to be a fan. So let me ask you this, sir. Do you have a breaking point? Do you, Willie Kennedy, have a breaking point as a Detroit Lions fan?
Yes, this is my breaking point season right here. If the Lions does not host or win a playoff game, I am through with the Detroit Lions.
Okay. All right. Now we gonna come back. All right. So when you say through, you said you've been a season ticket holder for a number of years, and when you say through, what are we talking? Describe the extent of through.
The next
so that they can understand.
If you see me, I won't be wearing any type of Lions paraphernalia. I got Lions license plate. It's coming off. My man cave. I got Lions stuff everywhere. It's getting probably piston or something. It's gone. I mean, I'm done with them completely. If we make a Super Bowl 5 years from now, I probably won't go. That's how much done I'm going to be.
Wow. Okay. Let me ask you, why did it take this year for that to happen? Why didn't that happen last year or 2017 or any of Caldwell's years? You know what I'm saying? Why did it take, like, what was it about? Was it anything specific about this year or what? Because that's steep, man. You're talking about being reasons, completely done. I said on my I started making Lions videos, and I'm like, oh, I'm done. And honestly, Willie, the last game of the season where they pulled out all them tricks and shut out the Packers, I didn't see a single minute of it. I was just like, for what?
Exactly.
And I was a different fan back there. I really was. And y'all gonna see that I'm putting. So I get that. But what was it about this particular past season, or that puts that type of stipulation?
It actually started last.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So it was because
Okay, so we're talking about beginning of Matt Patricia.
Because I was a fan of Jim Caldwell. You know what I'm saying? He came here and he made us look competitive. Even though we might have lost games, but we looked competitive the whole game. It was we kicking ourselves in the butt. It was a little discipline errors, little issues in there, but I think you need that type of toughness on your team. So I liked it. So it was more of, you fired Jim Caldwell because you said out your mouth you want to take this team to the next level over the top. And then you bring in Matt Patricia, and we looked at salty in preseason. I mean, preseason, we could complete a pass. I'm like, what is going on? Everyone blamed Jim Bob Cooter. So I said, okay, I was on that train too. Well, yeah, he is calling, like, it is noticeable what he's going to call. I'm standing there by the TV calling screen or quick slant. I'm calling the plays out as well. So I know if I'm doing it, the actual defense that's playing against him is doing it too. So I kind of was in between that, like, okay, I ain't going to give up this year. But now the way I'm looking at it, Bevel was proven. You see what I'm saying? He's proven it. A proven commodity in the NFL. He's proven. So Patricia is not proven, and everyone sold on him. It's like he's a product of a Bill Belichick system. So it's like nobody succeeds from that. No coach, if you look at the history. So that was how it became a breaking point for this particular year.
All right, let me see. Dunbar just says, just say you like the black head coaches, Derek. Who is this guy? Knowing Sundays he glued to the TV. Okay, Don, you relate to the show. I like all coaches, man. It doesn't matter. I prefer winning coaches. I had a fondness for Jim Caldwell. I think that I'm not really sold that he had the players to take the team to the next level. but I thought the way he was done for what he did in the city was really was dirty. I do believe that he had success with the Colts and things like that. But as anything else, and I'll get back to you, Willie. What's up, Micro Mike? Good show today, man. Detroit is usually the place, and I want y'all to understand something. Bevel, okay. I want y'all to understand that there's a difference between like y'all have heard me on the round table. Y'all have heard me with the DSA. I'm very realistic. I'm very optimistic, and I'm still that guy. The difference here is we're going to express our feelings over here, and from the eye tests and things like that about how we see things going. And for me, it was like, okay, Caldwell was he had I don't really know the teams that he beat. I didn't go and look at their record here, and that was the New England Patriots. And they have had a history of not being able to not only beat good teams, but destroy teams that are bad. And that's what teams do. That's what good teams do. So, I
said, yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
So for me, that's what I need from the this year. I would take everything you said. Playoff win. I would prefer a home game playoff win. I would prefer a number 1 or 2 seed, but at the very minimum, a playoff win, whether it's on the road or at home. At that point, I'm satisfied. But satisfied. I feel like that.
I said I agree with you. If we win a playoff game, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, you're satisfied. Now let me ask you this, Willie. How long, if that playoff win happens, how long are you satisfied? Is it just 1 year, or does that buy the Lions another 5 years? How does that work, man?
It's like then I will slowly start buying into, I'm not gonna jump and drink all the Kool-Aid like I used to. That's all. I'm gonna slowly work my way back. Okay. Well, the progress is working. The guy is here. He made us win our first playoff game since 1991, and okay, so I'm back on the bandwagon. But if it don't happen, that's it. And don't buy us time. It's just I'm looking forward to us being a winning team. Now that's when the consistency need to come in at. So if we win one playoff game this season, that means next year we have to top that, or at least duplicate it or top it. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
See, I would like to see us consistently win at least one playoff game every year, at least. Just consistently try to make it to the top. Like we get into the playoffs and we get stumped right out, just like the Bears did. So,
well, they didn't get stumped right out. They lost because their kicker was bad.
Yeah, but that goes back to
they're so listen.
Trubisky though. See,
their kickers are so bad right now that I got a dude, Chicago Bears 24/7. He covers the Bears, and as far as YouTube, and he was like that. I saw a video of him. He said that they had like 8 kickers or something like that. And Matt Nagy says, "All right, we about to do this right now." He called them all out to kick a 43-yard field goal, which is the same thing that what's his name? Whatever Packy Pay, whatever his name is, Cody Parkey. Yeah. So he had the Bears over there. I think 6 of them missed, so he cut them immediately.
Wow.
This is no pressure, no nothing. He cut them. So the Bears, yeah, they had kicking woes. They should have went, but as everybody knows and says, it doesn't come down to one play. So with the Bears and their defense and their takeaways and things like that, you would have thought that they should have stumped the Eagles, right?
The Eagles.
You thought they should have.
I think so. I think so. I think they should have stumped them. Their defense was better and they had a better offensive scheme. Now the players, while I think it's more of players than scheme. You have to have the talent to make the scheme work. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't have the talent,
man, TA would love you right now. Bro, TA lost the debate with Luke.
What did they debate?
Which I think was unfair. They debated on Tuesday's roundtable.
I missed it.
I think the debate was unfair because Luke won the debate because all he did was talk. Like he talked his way to a win. But I feel that TA has some valid points, and he said, "Now I wonder if Luke gonna make a video about me now, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes." Just have to execute, and Luke is saying, "Well, the coaches put them in the position to execute. If you don't have that, if they don't do that, then the players don't, I guess, can't do it." So,
can't do it. Yeah,
that's kind of what you just saying, huh?
Yeah, I think the scheme, if you have a scheme for a running game, but you don't have the right offensive lineman for that scheme, the running game is not going to work because they're not going to be able to maintain their blocks if they're not talented enough to block the player. So,
right now, I made a video today, guys. Go check it out. It's basically we are nearing the season. Football is dry as ever, and I'm just saying, okay, well, I'm so ready for football. Let's watch highlights of last year. So I'm actually watching the Viking, and this all happened because I came across a Minnesota Vikings video where Mike Zimmer is like basically he's giving his locker room speech after they got their 10 sacks. And I just was so angry. I was just like, oh, because they was like 10 sacks, he was 10 sacks. And so anyway, I go back and I watch the highlights from that game. And of course, they had to show every single sack. And that offensive line was getting blown up. Now, I know that or one of the top 5 when they played in week 9. And but we were getting exploded. Now,
one at that time.
So it was number 1. Okay, I thought so because I actually said that on my video.
Line. Yeah, the defensive line was not the whole defense.
Was ranked number 1. Okay. Okay, well, our offensive line was getting exploded. Now, I would probably say out of those 10 sacks, 2 to 3 were Matthew Stafford because he held on to the ball way too long, and 2 or 3, of those sacks. Kerryon was wide open on
I'm
one.
honestly tell you right now,
he could have thrown it away.
Luke will come after you for that because we talked about that yesterday on the phone. I told him Stafford held on the ball for about a good 4 of those sacks, and he told me, no, he didn't. The line was just one blocking. I'm like, oh man, here we go. Like, no, man.
Well, hey, look, if anybody who watches the round table, me and Luke has come after me on numerous occasions. He spent 8 minutes talking about me and my quarterback ideas when I with his podcast 2 weeks ago. So this is nothing new to me, but I can assure you it will stay civil, whatever it is. I told Luke and I told all of y'all, I'm like, Rocky, you can punch me in the head, in the sternum, I'm still gonna get up and still keep coming. So it is what it is, and we'll go from there. So with that being said, let's transition into Mr. Matt Stafford. Now, you got an issue with Matt, right? You got he laughed. He said,
I have a big issue with Matthew Stafford.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us about your issue. Once again, we are on live with DeTroiT Legend Sportscast. Those of you who are from 3 or 4 months ago, aka Willie Kennedy Jr., call him Greg Gore, buffed up. Fred Jackson, who I think is in the chat. Shout out to Fred Jackson, the realistic Lions fans. Tell us about your feeling. Look, that's it. Listen, when you speak this man up, he shows up. I am not kidding you. Luke G is in the building every time you mention him. And you know what I think it is? I think that's what it is. He will be quiet until you mention him. Then he comes in. It's not that he pops up. He's always been there. All right, man. So shout out to Luke G. What's going on? What's your issue with Matt Stafford, man? What's going on?
It's everything. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. You cannot make rookie mistakes at 10 years in the NFL as a 10-year vet. You can't do that. Last year, he made a lot of rookie mistakes from day one. It's like for a 10-year vet, you looking at him like, come on, man, you got to be smarter than that. I don't think they gave Matthew Stafford the ability to audible. It's like if you a 10-year vet and you come behind your line and you see that their defense is going to blitz, or you read the defense, basically, you should know if you have to audible, you should audible to a different play or change this play or change the blocking scheme, something. Stafford don't do none of that. He walks to the line, he says, kill, do some fake gestures, and still run the same play. I'll be like, oh my God. I'll be reading defense on the TV. Don't throw the ball. He throws it anyway. It's an interception.
Wait. Okay, but how do you know that he runs the same play, that he doesn't change the play? How do you know that with Jim Bob Cooter and all that nonsense that wasn't the second play call?
That is true. I can honestly say out my mouth, maybe it's not the same play, or maybe it is the same play. But however it go, the players don't move. You don't see nobody run across the screen on a motion or anything. Everybody stays still, so it looked like it's the same play. That's what it looks like from natural eye.
Oh Lord!
Another
Oh,
thing.
Lord. Now I hear you, Willie, but I'm looking at
another thing.
Go
with
ahead,
Stafford
man. Go ahead.
is
Go ahead.
He has a problem with staring down his receivers. He does it a lot. Yeah, and that's why he throws so many picks.
Now I do believe that he. I listen. I know we talked about Michael Roberts, and Michael Roberts did give up on that play in the Bears, but I'm watching it, and it looks like that Matthew stared at him the entire time, the whole time, and then we've been in and out, man. We're like, I was the bad guy of the round table, but I'm like, Matthew Stafford looked at Michael Roberts the whole way, which made it easier for the safety to come up and snatch it. And but you feel like he has a problem all the time, right?
It's like he got his few passes that he does make accurate. Like, it's a pass that's called place it in the bread basket right on the sideline between the numbers in the sideline. That's probably the most accurate pass I've ever seen any quarterback throw. And Stafford throws that with the touch and all that. But when it comes to throwing over the middle of the field, it's always inaccurate. When it's even his bombs down the field, the receiver always have to try to come back for the ball, or he putting it in a tight spot. You see what I'm saying? If you can lead your receiver a few more yards out, or let him run into the ball instead of trying to drill it to him 1,000 miles an hour when he's 5 yards in front of you. That's why Ebron didn't succeed here. Matthew Stafford throwing bullet darts on a 2-yard route, and it's smacking him in the hands. You see what I'm saying? He went over there to Andrew Luck, and he's putting a touch on the ball, so it's easier for him to catch the ball. So
you feel that Matthew Stafford, which does get mentioned a lot, that he's got some juice on the balls and stuff, like they talk about it all the time, that he got some. So you're saying that Eric Ebron, one of his problems was the velocity on which Matthew Stafford threw shorter passes.
Yeah, it's like
okay, Ebron, all right.
We know Ebron wasn't a complete tight end. We all know that. But if you know that about your player, you got to know your player. I know he's not about to catch this dart, because in practice he probably dropped it a million times in practice. So I'm going to let it up in the game so we can get this completion. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's like you got to know your player tendencies.
Okay, but you got. Let me just kind of be what they like to say, the advocate right now. So you've been sacked a billion times, right? So you've been sacked. As a matter of fact, I watched the podcast today, or it was the Minnesota Vikings, and they got like 2, I guess, sideline reporters. And this guy says that week 8, up until that Minnesota game, and then he all of a sudden he got sacked 10 times. He was on pace to get sacked 40-something times, is what the guy said. And I'm like, man, he was spot on, because the next week, if I'm not mistaken, it was another 7. And so 17 sacks in 2 weeks. So my question to you, Will, is, okay, if you're in the heat of the game and you got, 300-pound linemen running at you because your offensive line can't block, you're looking at Eric Ebron, who's paid to catch the ball, okay, and who dropped stuff in college. Are you really going to process while you're staring at death that, hey, let me lighten this up for Ebron a second? So, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like that's on Ebron, bro.
It definitely is on Ebron, because the way it is, like, the Lions should never have taken this guy this high. That was an organization move that they messed up on. So I don't really blame Stafford for stuff like that. He does it to a lot of our receivers. They just catch the ball. I was just putting that in general. Like, he put the ball in tight spots. The rest of our receivers catches the ball, though. It'd be tight spots, though, but they make the catches. Like, I honestly think Ebron should have never been a first-round anything. You cannot, let's what's his name? Amir Abdullah. He had a fumbling problem in college. Why would we draft him? And now he comes to us and fumble and everyone gets mad. Same with Ebron. Ebron had the dropping problem already was there when they selected him in the first round. You should never pick him up.
I actually felt bad. Yeah, I felt bad for Amir. There is a game before we cut him or whatever traded, whatever happened to him. It was like the last game I saw him in. He's running the ball. I think it was Seattle. It was the Seattle game. And he fumbles. And there is a shot. Huh?
What are you talking about?
Yes, it was a kick return. And I felt so bad for him because the camera zoomed into his face. And it was that moment that you knew that he knew he was done in here in Detroit. He was done. And I'm telling you, if you back to watch them games, and I don't know if the cameras are the same, but go back and watch that game, Seattle game, and watch Amir. They're gonna zoom into his face a couple seconds after he's on the sideline. It could be a couple plays, and I just feel bad. But you're saying that the Lions, knowing what kind of player he was in college, should have passed on him, and they should have done that same thing with Ebron.
Same thing with Ebron. So it's like I really don't fault Stafford for what he has to work with. But you have to know what you got to work with and know what his tendencies are. If you gotta stand there and take that hit, that's what quarterbacks do. Stafford is labeled as the toughest SOB in the whole NFL, what people say. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, you got to stand there and take that.
I mean, but Willie, he's played in 8 years straight. All right. He got hit a lot of times last year. There are some times I didn't think he was going to get up. So do you think it's a label, or do you think he showed you some toughness?
Now, if we looking for somebody who go drink all the beer and standing there and take the hit, I'm definitely rocking with Stafford. That's for sure. But at the end of the day,
so let me ask you, man. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say, do you think, because I see a lot of me in you, Willie, and I remember when you first came on, and I don't know how you found our stream, but you found our stream and you was like, DP, I can get with you. You just remind me, it just seems like maybe you're blaming Stafford for stuff that's out of his control, because he's got to have the team around him. Now, if he holds onto the ball too long, that's his fault. If he overthrows his receiver, that's his fault. If he underthrows his receiver, if he stares down a receiver, that's his fault. But
got to the end of
if he doesn't have a line to protect him. Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead. My bad. Let me finish. Let me let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
Put it all together. Stafford has a fumbling problem too, without people even touching him.
Okay.
Stafford be just dropping the ball sometimes. I know people notice that.
Oh,
y'all have anybody else ever seen that besides me? That's a question, right? That has been a lot of times.
That is a
lot
question,
of times.
bro.
Stafford has got the snap, reach back, and just drop the ball. I'm like, what is going on? Or he's about to get tackled and try to fall down and drop the ball or something. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I know the pressure coming at you, but don't crumble. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think Stafford is the guy. He's got talent. He got a strong, very, very strong arm. I ain't seen nobody throw it like that since Brett Favre, the way he throws the ball. But he does have the gunslinger mentality. That's him. That's his game. But Brett Favre was the most accurate person. You see what I'm saying? I think he top 2 in interceptions in his career. So, you know,
I mean, didn't his career pretty much end on a pick?
In a playoff game.
Didn't it?
Like a playoff game.
I think it did, man, with the Minnesota. I mean,
but it's more of the lines of Stafford is not the guy. That's with him at quarterback. I don't believe. Now, he might prove me wrong if he worked on himself, but I don't believe Matthew Stafford is the guy that's going to take us to the promised land.
Oh, okay. We're going to touch on that in a minute. Let me holler at the chat real quick. I just missed it. 65 Papa Daddy. He said, Brian says, the one that made him upset is when he lateral to carry on. Dude, okay. So I'm watching the highlights of that today, and I know why he did. Okay, Matthew Stafford at this point was sacked, I want to say 7 or 8 times, and he's running for his life. But if you look at that play, Carry On dropped that ball. So I can't put that on Stafford, because it's almost like Carry On was with him the whole time, and he was looking for Stafford to lateral, like he was prepared. But when he went to go put them hands up, he just, you know, fumbling and bumbling and stumbling, and next thing you know, it goes right behind him, and it's a fumble. So I can't put that on play today. Okay, so Willie, this one's for you, man. Pride Time B. Shout out to Pride Time. Go subscribe to him. Hey, and what do you like to say? What's up, YouTube? You don't need to know. You don't need the clock to know what time it is. Shout out to Pride Time B. Go check him out. Subscribe. He says, so Stafford isn't the guy. What should the Lions do? So that one's for you, Willie.
Okay. I honestly thought in the last maybe 3 drafts, we should have been looking, you know, for a predecessor, for somebody to take over, you know, somebody, anybody. And we have seen.
Okay, so you're saying that Kaya was not it?
Not the people we drafted. Talk about like in the draft period that we could have had. People that we could have had. We done passed up on, let's say like a Deshaun Watson. We done passed up on Patrick Mahomes. You know, people like this. We had opportunities to get them, but we have passed up on them because we thought Stafford is the savior. So even in this last draft, I honestly think someone like the Ohio State quarterback, he could have been good for us. The one who went to the Redskins, Dwayne Haskins. There you go. He could have been someone to back up Stafford. You know what I'm saying? I think he's better than Tom Savage.
Oh yeah, don't.
I'm just saying. Listen.
I know. But that's a high pick for it. I know what you mean. So you're saying that because let me ask you this. This is a better question. What year? We're now in year 10. This is Matthew Stafford. What they gave him that extension 2 years ago. I think 2017, 18. I think he was the highest quarterback in the league, paid quarterback. Now he's like 6th or 8th or something like that. When do you feel like we should have start drafting that replacement, not some backup or some practice squad dude, the replacement, the successor to Matthew Stafford, the one that's going to come and when he gets benched, if he gets benched, the guy that's going to come in and, you know, do his thing and potentially start for this franchise in the future? What year do you think that should have been? Honestly, not specifically a player, but like, you know, what year?
Him out of Georgia. I'm going to say right after his rookie deal, we should have been moving on. That's just me. But he had Calvin Johnson making him look good. Huh? No, he didn't. When we drafted him number 1 from Georgia, I seen the talent he had on the team he had with Georgia. He still lost. That Georgia team was talented all across the board, and they still didn't win the national championship that year. And they were probably the most dominant team in the whole college football league that year. So, I mean, he had A.J. Green. What's the other guy name? He played for the Browns too. Massaquoi was the other receiver. Both of them was animals in college. So I didn't like Stafford coming out of Georgia for one. I gave the dude a chance. He got hurt his first 2 years. So at that point, I'm like, he need to be gone. That's what I said. But he came back out.
Wait.
He stuck with it.
Wait, Billy, hold on, man. Wait. Okay, he was getting creamed, bro. Like I said to myself, I said it's 2011. I said, okay, this is Matthew Stafford's year. He's got to do something in 2011. And what did he do? He come out, take us to 11-5. But
who took us to 11-5?
He had to stay healthy. But if you're getting you
talk about Jim Caldwell year?
Matthew Stafford was.
No, that was the defense.
I don't think he was here.
That was the year Jim Caldwell. You said 2011.
I mean, but what I'm saying is that he's 2011.
That was the year we had the nice defense with Sue and Fairley.
Okay, but what I'm saying
year, wasn't it?
I believe it could have been. I know Sue was still here. I think Fairley was here because we had just did we draft him? We drafted Sue in 2010, and Fairley was Fairley 11? Remember. Was he a rookie then? I don't remember off the top of my head. Somebody in the chat, behind center, and he got hurt by getting creamed against the Browns or whatever that was. Then he got hurt the next year. I forgot what injury it was. And I'm just saying, for this guy to go so high, he's got to, hopefully he can stay healthy and come out and prove himself that year. And what I'm saying is, I don't remember what particular facet of it was to get us, 11-5, but I know he was directing the ball is what I'm saying. And it seems like in Matthew Stafford's defense that you're a little biased towards Stafford. And if that's true, do you really think that you're seeing him with, you know, clear vision? Do you see in the whole to surround him? He's either had a defense and no offense, offense and no defense, a running back and no receipt. You know what I'm saying? So do you think that you could be a little bit hazy toward Matthew Stafford? Like, you know, maybe he was never, he could never be.
I can agree with you and say it is. It's not. I don't call it hate, but it's like if you don't like pickles, and every time you bite into the pickle, you like, ugh, these are nasty. After a while, you go stop trying to bite into that pickle. You see what I'm saying? Because you like, I don't like it. So if I didn't like him from the get-go. So when he came to the NFL, I gave him the chance. He proved me wrong. He got hurt 2 years in a row. So I was done there. Then they brought he came back. He had an okay, I think that next year he was okay. And I said, this guy not it. You know what I'm saying? He's not it. Very next year, he wasn't it. The year after he had Calvin Johnson, he still wasn't it. The year he supposed to have been sweet and threw for 5,000 yards, 2 other quarterbacks did the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So he never really had that standout year to where it was like, he is just it. He is the man. No, it's not. It's always something 1 or 2 better than what he has, you know, except for in most interceptions. And since 2009, most 4-game interceptions is him. He got 5 of them. And since 2009. Most 4-game thrown interceptions. Okay. I think that's what it's called. In one game, 4 in 1 game. So it's
is there any other quarterback with at least 4?
Mark Sanchez.
Is he tied for anybody, or is he?
Mark Sanchez was right.
That's not a good sign.
Exactly. You
that's
see
not
what
a good sign. But
and the company that was in there was most of those quarterbacks not in the league no more, who was also in that company. So it's like, I honestly think if Stafford was on another team, he's not in the NFL anymore. He will not be in the NFL anymore. That's just me.
Okay, and see, I disagree with that. But before that, let me go back to top tier. First of all, Top, you shady for that. How you gonna give your boy a thumbs down for something I'm not even doing? I'm literally hosting a show. At least he kept it at 100, and he was honest with me. He says, "Man, this dude just got you a thumbs down." That's shady, but at least you came with it. I appreciate that. Don Burr says, right, DPF got Jim Bob Cooter on the show. And here's let me see. Fred Jackson says nobody is biased. His record against good teams is 6-48 in football. They got this old saying. Fred, I'll get back to you on that one. Shout out to Crimson Shadow. What's going on? There goes Mommy's troll account. Well, actually, not troll, his side account. Says this must be Motor City Sports Talk Big Brother or something. And it was something else I wanted to say. All right, well, let me see. Don, what was it? Fred. Okay, what I was saying is that if you already have something painted in your mind, Don or Fred, do you think that you can erase that when somebody, like when he came into the league, couldn't you say it was like a fresh start? Like you're not going to continue. It's a different breed of player. It's a different things are different, right? So I would give somebody a fresh start unless here's my thing. So you got Jamarcus Russells and Ryan Leafs and all of them who come out first, or these guys who are busts. You've got Tom Brady who goes in the 6th round, 199 overall, who if he didn't like him, huh? What'd you say?
Tom Brady is definitely the GOAT.
Okay, so Willie says he's the GOAT. So what I'm saying, Fred, is that if you already have something in your mind, it's kind of like what we were saying on the round table. And I know this is hard for Lions fans, and that's why I've got Willie on. And I want to thank y'all for keeping it respectful toward Willie and his feelings. And when I say feelings, I mean his opinions, because we are all entitled to feel whatever way that we want to feel. And I think that, we have a big problem with trying to force somebody to feel a different way, or, berate somebody because they don't have the same opinion as us. Even if it's fact-based, it still can't, I think we all should respect each other's opinion, whether we like it or not. So with that being said, all I'm saying is that it doesn't seem like, and Willie admitted that Matthew Stafford never had a fair shot with him. So Matthew Stafford would be willing. Yeah, he would literally have to win you over, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
as I look at it, it haven't been a point in his career yet to this point that he gave me the assumption to where I should believe he's going to do better than next year. It's like I honestly think if Stafford does not have Calvin Johnson, he will not be in the league anymore. That held him over until he got himself together. Now, when Calvin left, I understand his numbers did get better. He started spreading the ball around. But the years before that, I think without Calvin, he is another Mark Sanchez, another Jamarcus Russell. He would be in that category if he didn't have Calvin Johnson. That's just me.
Wow. I don't know, bro. I mean, I think that he played better than with a broken shoulder, dislocate, whatever it was, than Jamarcus Russell ever played. I feel you though. I understand.
He did.
I understand Jamarcus. I mean, well, it haunts me to this day that Calvin Johnson was selected behind this guy. Like, are you kidding? It should have been like Calvin Johnson, and then he shouldn't even been drafted. But it's just like it will forever bother me that this guy came after one of the greatest receivers I've ever seen, and he is overweight currently, and last I heard he was still trying to play.
I got a question for you.
I'm just a little. Yeah, what's up, man?
Okay, change the scenario and say Stafford get drafted to the Browns. You think he'd still be in the league right now?
Still being in the league, yes. With the Browns, no. I don't think. I think the Browns would have given him or something.
All right, now take Stafford and put him on on Dallas. Put him in the spot of Romo. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, he don't get a title. He close.
The team, right? Because you think the team.
He close. I believe that. Yeah, because and not just the team though, Willie. It's what Jerry Jones is willing to do for his team. Jerry Jones is the guy that goes to get Kareem Hunt. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jones is that dude. He wants to win. There's what it takes to win. I believe that if Matthew Stafford, if they would have did like if he was Blake Bortles when Blake Bortles was Blake Bortles with the Jaguars, then we're talking about something else. The defense that they had, I think that Matthew Stafford, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. Matthew Stafford would have looked crisp in the Jaguars uniform. I'm serious. I believe that he would have took that team to the next level. But your defense can only carry you so far. Look at Mitchell Trubisky. And I know the Bears fans, shout out to Chicago Bears. I love you, man. But Mitchell only got that team so far. That defense was insane. Carried them further than they should have gone. And traded him like early in the offseason. It was like, oh, he gonna do something over there. He gonna do something else. Because I think I think when that dude just kind of came up with a hypothetical, early in the offseason, I think he
Jacksonville. I heard that.
I think he hold on. All right, I'm getting distracted by this chat. Willie, bro, you sound like you playing Tecmo Bowl. Okay, that's Don. Now here's the thing I don't understand about Don. Don is like right with you. Usually it's no, Don ain't as bad as you. Shout out to Fred. It's usually Fred, you, and what's the other dude's name? Who's the other guy? And Greg, aka Buffed Up. Just no matter what is said, you can't please people. Out to Mellow Mo, he says dynasty on the way. Carry on in Stafford's Davis. Elway finally won a Super Bowl because of Davis. That's hashtag facts. Shout out to you, Mellow Mo, for that. What do you think about that, Willie? You think that now that Carry-On is Stafford has a running game, you think that's going to, how do you think that's going to fare for our team?
Well, first, you can't sell yourself on Carry-On because he didn't finish the season for us last year. Carry-On is a great back.
Okay.
You got to play 16 games to get us over the top. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's a great running back. I'm not saying that he's not good. He don't have talent. He can't take us over the top. But you have to be available to play for us to get for you to be able to get us there. So, I mean, I'm not sold on him until we play a full season. I see we can do in a full, complete 16-game season. That's when I'll get sold on him. But right now, I can't judge it because he only played 6 games, maybe like 5 or 6 games last year. So, I mean, that's just me.
No, he played more than that. I thought, he went out week 10, and they held him. Yeah, I think he went out week 10. Was it Carolina? Was it the Carolina? Somebody in the chat tell me, but
that's when he got hurt.
I thought that was. Yeah, I thought that was week 10. Somebody in the chat put in the chat, when did Kerryon get hurt? I thought it was the Panthers game, which was week 10.
So
Melo Mo says he played 10. So I think it was,
right? It was like 600 I think it, change. So you add 6 more games.
I think it was 6 and some change. Yeah.
About good, maybe 1,000. So I mean, I can see it. You know what I'm saying? I can see it, but it has to prove it. You have to show it. I'm not drinking no Kool-Aid for the Lions no more until they just show me with my eyes. I used to drink the Kool-Aid every year.
All right. Well, let me address this real quick, guys. Once again, I appreciate y'all being on with us. I want y'all to understand something. The comments there, but I really believe that people's opinion need to be valued. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's based on, and I know that we preach facts a lot on YouTube, and I think that everybody should have facts and stuff to back up what they're saying. But at the same time, I think that there is some emotion in this game, and y'all like, oh well, you need to take emotion out of it. You need to think like this. You need to think if anybody is tired, Willie, Fred, buffed up or whatever, this is how they feel. I mean, and as I was saying before, when the whole chat kind of turned against me, is that the Lions have been bad for a long time. And for some people, they just got to win. They don't care how they do it. I bet a video of him doing what he did, they would not have been upset. It would have been some people, but they would have been like, uh-oh, Martha not playing around. Man, DBF,
he put Stafford on the nose right there, D. You hit right on the nose. I just want to see my team do what it takes to win one. Just get us to a Super Bowl. I just want to see it. Just go all out.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. And I mean, I feel like that to some extent as well. I do believe that this year they've done something I've never seen. I was going back and watching my videos last year, and I'm like, oh, the Lions never make splash plays. They never do this. And I even said that the writing was kind of on the wall that the season was going to be terrible. And if you really look at it, we shouldn't have beat the Panthers. That's 5-11. And I'm sure there's a game or two that we probably should have lost but won. But the writing was on the wall.
But that was the game where Cam Newton threw the incomplete pass to missed that open receiver in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he was open. He was open. I remember sitting on the edge of my seat and just taking the biggest sigh. But it wasn't necessarily because we won. It was because he missed a wide open dude. And I'm just saying, oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it was Funches or whoever it was. He was wide open. Whatever it was a missed throw. So it wasn't that our team stopped this guy. He missed the throw. But either way, I think at that time we might have still been in the playoff hunt. That's all I cared about. I didn't care if they got blew out. I really did. I didn't want them to tank. I just want them to make the playoffs. I hate it when they don't. Like, when they missed last year because they lost to the I really do understand you, Willie, because if you're sitting on and it's week 12 or week 13 and you're mathematically eliminated from the team from the playoffs, why are you going to watch? I mean, I understand that there are some people that watch, they want to see this player, that player, but if the ultimate goal is for the Lions to do better than they did the year before, why are you watching? Why are you going to watch the Lions after they can't make the playoffs? So their season is essentially over. Huh?
But that's where being a fan come in at. You see what I'm saying? When you a fan, you just want to see your team play, really. But you want to see your team do good. Every team in the league have seen their team at least do good once or twice or whatever. We have never been able to experience it. Besides 1 year.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But 91, that was about it.
In the Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl era, And I just think about how and matter of fact, on that broadcast, I said that one game was the difference between two NFC championships. Like we beat the Packers both those years. We're no longer not shown. We're at least there twice. So don't get me wrong, Willie, in the chat. I understand, and this thing turns into where people start to bash every people's opinions, which I just don't like at all, because everybody's entitled to one. So you don't have to bash somebody or make them feel like they're less of anything because they have an opinion. Whether it's based on your research and all of that, but if somebody is if they want to watch the game of football because they like the team of the city they live in and they want that team to win, that's all it is. I mean, why are we fans in the first place?
Exactly.
It could have been because of Barry Sanders. You might not live in the city, but you like Barry Sanders because he was amazing. You might not live in a city, but you like Calvin Johnson because he's amazing. But how many people actually like the Detroit Lions because they are either from Detroit, some of their family members was from Detroit, or here it is, Dulce Dion doesn't even live in Detroit, and he's a Lions fan because his dad is a Lions fan, and he's a huge Lions fan. But I'm saying if you're here from the city, and Willie, I know that I'm local, bro. So I know what you're saying. Like when the Pistons won in 2004, we was all over the place. We was all over the place. Man, I was
all over the place.
Too young in 88. Yeah, 88, 89. I was too young. 2004, I remember going out and it was people literally parked on Greenfield just hanging out of the car.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm like, okay, that's kind of what's going to happen here. Now I see Luke G. He says the problem with opinions is they are unfounded emotions. Okay, I get you, man. But the word fan is short is short for fanatic. So it's like if you're fanatical about something, you're going to be emotional about it. So I get what all Mobby is saying, Luke is saying, Willie is saying. I get all of that stuff. But I'm just saying, that when people go to the stadium, they're full of emotion. Like you don't yell because, oh my goodness, that was a this play instead of that play. You're like, my team scored the ball, so I'm excited. So all I'm saying, guys, is I respect everybody's opinion, whether they bring facts or not. If you agree with it, that's a different thing. You don't have to agree with it, but I feel like we all need to respect other people and other people's opinion. And that's just the bottom line. So, Willie, I told you was going to get this kind of same thing. So,
I mean, look, I've been fighting against perseverance. I got strong perseverance skills. I've been fighting against that all my life, man. I always got the different outlook on it because I'm looking at it in a realistic eye view. I'm not looking at it as, oh, well, if I had this and I had that, I'm the type of person, well, I'm going to do what I got to do with what I got to do to get it done. I don't worry about what I could have had. That's what people tell me. They say fact. Well, fact is he didn't have a running back. Okay, fact is we passed the ball 90% of the time, so forget the running back. Now, we passed the ball 90% of the time, Stafford has to be accurate, but he's not. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, we don't have a running back. There's a lot of teams that don't have a running back. They found another way to do it. Oh, we didn't have a defense. Well, okay, the Chiefs didn't have a defense, and they scored so many points. The defense was non-existent. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Don, you said respect is always garnered, but we can disagree. No, I'm the huge fan of disagree. I'm the guy that sat on the round table that was on the outside of the round table because it was me and TA usually rolling on one aspect while Luke and J-Mo was on another one. So, I know about disagreements. What I'm saying is when it turns into name calling and all of that other stuff, and I'm just like, okay, well, it shouldn't go that far because at the end of the day, no matter what our opinion is, we all want the same thing. So we all want the same end goal. We want we want the Detroit Lions to be not only Super Bowl champions one time, but we want a dynasty. We want our team to be out of the basement, stop being a laughingstock, and into the upper echelon of teams that you have to respect. When you go on game day prime and you beat the Patriots and nobody talks about you, that's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
So I can't get over that. Nobody talks about, like, your only reference is Carissa Thompson as the show is going off and it's a whisper. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad thing. So the Lions have to change the narrative and the culture, and they do that by winning. But what I'm saying, Don, is that disagreements are everywhere, man. It's just respectful disagreements is another thing. And I'm just saying, I'm not saying that y'all have crossed that disrespectful line. I just don't understand why it has to ever go there.
The other opposing team?
That's all I'm saying. But everybody is in the chat.
Say about the Lions when they come play us, or we about to play them. It's time to pad our stats. That's what they say. People said it's about we about to run our stats up this game. We about to this is a game where I'm gonna get 2 picks or 3 picks from Matthew Stafford, or I'm about to run crazy on their defense. People look forward to playing against the Lions because they're gonna pad their stats. It's been like that for years. So I mean, over the Jim Cowell era, it wasn't like that. All the games was competitive to me. When I looked at it in my eyes, we looked like a competitive team. So,
well, I'm gonna tell you what, I don't really remember all of them games. I do know that I think what we had, the worst record we had was what, 7-9, I think.
7-9.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I do understand this is Matt Patricia's first year. And on paper, the Lions should have probably done worse than they did. They had a very tough schedule. Now they have like the fourth toughest in the division itself. So, all right, Black Alliance, please refrain from that type of speech up in here. I would appreciate that, man. So, well, okay, Luke, I see you, man. You on that moderator work. I see you, Luke G. So I get that, and I'm all for, that beginning, that you gotta kind of feel your way each. And I think that a lot of Lions players, specifically, Darius Slay, we're not even gonna get into that, but I think a lot of people, they want to win, but they don't want to do what it takes to win. Like, for instance, Micro Mike, shout out to Micro Mike. He was saying today that, you might have to take a couple L's to change the culture. You might have to take a couple L's to get to that point where you become the New England Patriots, where they're just destroying teams, where they win, 15 of the last 17 or whatever the statistic is, 15 of the last 19 AFC titles, you know what I'm saying, like in their division, which is insane. But you might have to take a couple L's if you start from the bottom. And I don't think the Lions were starting from the bottom. I think Jim Caldwell did put a system in place. But no offense to JC, because I love that guy. But Matt Patricia comes from a different era. You know what I'm saying, Willie? And I think Matt Patricia, he's got a lot to prove as a head coach, because the disciple tree of Bill Belichick is a failure. So he's got to do something with the Detroit Lions, or he's going to be another statistic on what these guys don't do. You know what I'm saying?
I agree 100%, because I look at Patricia as he has a lot on his shoulders right now. He has to put a winning product out, and they have to look like a winning team. With that, people got the assumption of duplicating the Patriots, which I'm all for that. Whenever a team, like you said, can win consistently 15, almost 20 years in a row. So, and you playing against the top of the top every year, and you knocking them out with the ease, like this is nothing. So I'm willing to go. I'm willing to take that road to get there. But Patricia has a lot on his shoulders, because if he fails, he becomes another statistic out the Bill Belichick tree. That's what it is.
And that's something that, hey, look, that's the place I wouldn't want to be. And I know he's sitting up thinking about that. I think he thought about that before he took this job, because he could have went to the Giants. It came down, I guess, between us and the Giants. I mean, I remember saying they was like sold he was going to take the Giants, and then he comes over here, and I think he wanted to take I think he really wanted to kind of, but I am now. I am a fan of Patricia. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna do this now. Willie, I appreciate you, man. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up right now. I appreciate everybody in the chat that is, been civil. It's been a lot of kind of heat over the past day or two on YouTube between some fellow Detroit people, Luke G and Mobby, and it's just like, okay, you know, I appreciate everybody staying civil, and you know, whether you won or lost the debate, whatever it is, I appreciate that somebody staying civil. So maybe we'll see that debate between Mobby and Luke. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't think this is the end of this whole thing. So we'll see about that. But Willie, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you finally getting on and being able to express yourself. And to Don and Fred and anybody else that wants to get on. And okay, I knew that was you, Mobby. I knew that was you. All right, let me go ahead and do that. Oh, Lord. Now, he said yesterday that he does that. He's so hard on folks. I don't know. One video he made I could watch. The other ones I couldn't. So I don't know if that was the same. As we get off, sir.
Just try to keep it realistic. We know what we're dealing with. We know what to look forward to. I'm just saying, I'm not going to tell nobody not to buy in. You do what you want to do, but be realistic about your thoughts before you be disappointed. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
And
I got videos coming out starting on the 25th of this month. I'm making my first video on the 25th.
All right, man. You know they got to drop on the 25th, right? You know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you can't have it come out, you know, the week 1 of the season.
Oh, it's dropping on the 25th.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. So for that, guys, we got Detroit Legend Sportscast. Go subscribe to him. Check him out. He's going to be putting out content starting the 25th. You heard it here first. AKA Willie Kennedy Jr. Everybody remembers him from the chat. Shout out to Fred Jackson, Dom Burr, Buffed Up, who's not in the building, and anybody else. You can email me at thegridironblitz@yahoo.com if you want to set something up so you can get your voice heard, whether you are all the same. We want our team to win. And for those of us who may be a little more pessimistic, you know, nothing wrong with that. And if you want to stay where you just like, you know what, I see the draft, I see the coach, I see the players, I need to see W's. That's it. W's, titles, and championships. I understand that too. So for both type of people, I respect everybody and everybody's opinion. Let's remember to keep things civil and respectful because we all want the same thing, guys. So anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. I'm out. Peace.